Hi, today we're going to be doing some Epic 7 gameplay. We're going to be doing some guild wars against War Waifus. My guild, we are currently at rank 197, Vandals. Uh, Nothing too crazy. Some of the defenses that we fight, because we're not like top 50 or anything, there aren't many trap defenses, so a lot of these attacks are pretty straightforward. Um, a lot of the defenses that I see are pretty much copy paste and not too bad. So over here, prepping for the first fight, I like using Solitaria against Celine and Chooks, so I draft her. Um, First fight I'm not too worried about. The second fight, it was pretty bad. I didn't really think much of any units, and yeah. So getting into the first fight, I pretty speedy Solitaria. She goes first. I'm gonna CC the Celine so that she's unable to rip the S3. Um, so I go ahead and S3 get the stun on the Celine, push her back too. Their Chooks goes, misses on my Aiden. I don't think it matters even if she hits, just because I'm pretty much gonna one-shot it next turn. I rip the S3 into Chooks. I believe I one-shot it with the attack buff. I don't think she's on proof. Nope, she's not on proof of valor. So I don't get the one-shot, but it doesn't really matter. She's pretty much dead on the following turn. Their Arrow goes, doesn't get the stun on my Aiden. A stun doesn't, I don't think it really matters. I'm just able to kind of constantly control the Celine over here. I S3 her, get another stun on her. She's pretty much can't even move. Solitaria goes, I S1 into the dual attack for Solitaria, just start stacking the CCs on top of his team. Um, my Aiden's just dodging. I killed the Chooks here, but I think it's actually better to kill the Celine because I won't be able to stun it next turn if I get unlucky. So over here, I'm unable to get a CC. So there's a world where their Celine gets a turn and gets the S3 off, although that probably doesn't matter. It doesn't apply here because the Aiden gets the counterattack and CR pushes herself to get the kill, but there is a world where their S-Link gets the S3 off. So going to the second fight, it was a pretty terrible draft. I bring Landy as my primary DPS dealer, and I bring Billis to kind of go against the counterattacks, but overall, terrible draft on my end, actually. I should have not brought this Doris. It was pretty useless. The Billis takes a turn. I S3 into the team. I get some debuffs of my own. Uh, I bring Doris into these counterattackers because she works pretty well, but I've noticed that every time I bring her, the enemy just stops counterattacking when I need them to. So over here, the Ravi's hitting a little bit into my Doris. Doesn't matter, doesn't really do damage. I S1 doesn't. My Landy don't do much damage either. I'm just honestly waiting for them to do a counterattack. I should have probably S1 the Landy to proc counterattacks. I'm hitting the Sea Lilius for no reason really. And she's able to kind of target down my Landy a little bit. I'm getting a little bit worried here. I actually thought I lost the fight because of that crit and the injury stacks starts ramping up later on. Again, I S1 into the Sea Lilius. I'm looking back and this is actually terribly played on my part. I'm probably supposed to hit the Landy here to get counterattacks. I actually want to get counterattacked and get some defense breaks going, but yeah, a lot of mistakes on my end actually. I'm able to heal up my Landy here with the S3. I hit the Lilius again. I'm not. I guess I don't really know what I was doing in this fight um, at the time. So finally, she gets a counterattack. My Billis still has not S2'd yet. She's kind of useless. I'm kind of getting a little bit frustrated because she finally gets the counterattack there, and I kind of get the S2 off, hoping for some defense breaks on the whole team, but I only get it on the Lilius. Man, this Billis does not do her job when I need her to. So their Lilius cycles back to her S3. Um, Luckily, no attack down on my Landy, but their Landy is able to counterattack, proc the salvo, and then get her S3 ready. She S3s my team, but she does have a blind debuff. I think the enemy Landy is built a lot more offensively, judging from her HP and the damage I'm able to do with my Landy. So my Landy is ready to S3 now. I ripped S3, hoping for some stuns across the board. I think I'm able to one-shot. I kill the Lilius and I get the stun on the Ravi, so I'm pretty happy about that. But my Billis, I think I S1 into the Ravi. I probably should have done it into the Landy. I'm still trying to get some counterattacks going from her, but I don't manage to get that to make that happen. And she has the blind debuff, but it wears off, and now she finally gets a counterattack. But my Billis is in range of a kill because of the attack buff. So this Billis, I played it really badly, completely useless on my end. Um, Luckily, I'm able to crit the Landy here and just kill it off. I think this Landy is built very offensively and not enough bulk, so I'm able to do a good chunk. Um, Luckily, she hits my Doris this time, and obviously can't one-shot the Doris, so I'm pretty sure I win the fight from here on out, unless this Ravi is built like a demon. She's not, so I'm able to kind of stack counterattack, start ramping up my Landy to kind of finish her off. I think I just decided to push the Landy up here. Doesn't really matter at this point in the fight. No, I just go with S1 into the salvo, soul burn, get the salvo going from Landy, and I should be good in this fight. But again, this fight actually went really bad because of a lot of misplays on my end. Um, Very bad drafting actually. Landy was my only DPS, and there's a good chance that if the Ravi started targeting my Landy earlier, proccing more injuries, it could have been really bad. So that was, even though I won, it was not super clean the second fight. Okay, second fort here. This defense team is a lot easier to deal with. First team, I'm pretty sure I can outspeed it with C Lilius. There's a chance I get 15% resisted from the non-woe, and then the fight could go badly. But I was kind of just confident that that wouldn't happen. I think I bring an 8 in here to just one-shot the Chooks. I bring Leth in the second fight because Leth just destroys all these Holy Sack AU fiends running around that do not or is not paired up with any sort of injury. It's honestly pretty free, those defense teams. So I think we really kind of have to pair AU fiend with some form of injury. Otherwise they just get run over by Leth, and I'm sure there are a lot of other counters out there that I'm not familiar with. I don't know a lot of what these units do, to be honest. I kind of a returning player 7 months ago, so still getting used to what all these new units do. So yeah, I bring, believe, C Lilius for the first fight. Uh, Aiden to just speed things up, just to kill the Chooks. And I think I bring my own Landy. So I think I'm able to take the first turn, rip the S3 into the S2, provoke the non-woe. Luckily, she does not get 15%ed, and I'm able to push her back. If she was able to kind of get the lucky 50%, fight could be a lot different, but I'm pretty confident still. So I get a lucky counterattack, Elbrus proc into the salvo, kind of destroy half his team right here off the rip. My Aiden S3s, and I think with the Vigor buff, she's able to just one-shot the enemy Chooks here. Let me see. Yep, so she just gets one-shotted. At this point, the fight's pretty much over. I S1, get a lucky salvo proc into the Landy. With Vigor buff, like, the enemy Landy, just, it's over. She can't do anything. I get another lucky counter into a salvo, pretty much just annihilate the enemy team. It's all dead in the second turn. Next fight, pretty easy fight as well. I bring a Moondom. She's really good into these extra turn units like Lua, so I get the immunity here. And even if Lua was able to get the reset, I believe, I forget the interaction, but it doesn't really matter because even with the reset on my left usually does the S1 into S3 S1 combo. So even if she got the reset, it doesn't really matter. So here my left takes a turn. She's just built really bulky, and I try to make her as fast as I can, but Call of the Abyss is able to do like 20k, and you rarely see a AU fiend with that amount of HP. There is like a attack build running around that I think is a little bit bulkier with a lot of attack damage and not on Holy Sack, but this one's, yeah, a lot of the defenses I fight are on Holy Sack. So back to the fight, she's just hitting my Doris, doesn't really matter. Left takes her second turn. It's gonna one-shot the AU Fiend S1, S3, S1 combo. So the AU Fiend is dead. Doesn't matter how much he counterattacks. Call the Abyss comes out. Extinction. Love using this unit. I don't. Yeah, it's like a little bit boring, but kind of fun to use honestly when I use it. Um, and I think at this point I just put the fight on auto battle because I'm able to just do the same combo into Aiden and the fight's pretty much over. Um, yeah, she's just can't kill any of my units. She hits Moondown really hard, but again, Left cycles back, Call of the Abyss comes out. Doesn't matter how tanky the Aiden is, she's not living even if I miss or even if she evades the S2. So 15k right there on the miss. No Aiden is tankier than that. Um, yeah, I think the fight's. Yeah, I set the fight to auto here. Lua can't really do anything. Um, so this fight's pretty much over. And again, a lot of these AU Fiend teams, I think on Holy Sack, I like taking left if there isn't some form of injury. Even if there is like an injury unit like Sharon, I think you're able to get away with using left still. I know I've done it in the past, but again, ripped S2, pretty much a dead Lua, pretty clean second fight. Um, Now we're gonna move on to the third battle. I believe I use a similar team, just like really using left a lot. She just makes a lot of these really easy. I don't really have to think too much and just put the fights on auto to be honest. Um, so first team again, Corinna and Landy with no injury unit paired up. Usually free real estate for left. She's able to kind of just S1, S3, S1 kill all the units really fast. Landy's the only real threat. Corinna usually can't do anything because Landy's dead by the time Corinna takes her passive to S2. Um, Second team I haven't seen before, but I think I bring Solitaria just to control the Chooks. ML Crown, I think I bring my own Chooks just to stack up some injury. Looking back at it, I don't bring a clean fight to the second team. I think um because I bring my own Chooks and Moondom does have CC, which I completely forgot about, and Moondoms tend to run high AFRES, so there's a good chance my Solitaria does not get her debuffs in. But I wasn't thinking about that at the time, or it didn't occur to me. Um, Second fight could have gone worse than it did. I actually think I got really unlucky the second fight, but managed to still clean up. For the first fight, I just bring this combo of Doris, Phyllis, and Leth. It's pretty boring team, but gets the job done. And after you kill the lander, you can just put the sim on auto, and the fight's pretty much won because uh, Landy's kind of the only threat, and she has pretty much one turn to get going. So Lulucar leads with S3. I just S1 into the Landy, doesn't matter. Even if she counters, it really doesn't matter. She's not killing my team, or more importantly, she's not killing Leth. I don't S2 there because I don't want um, Lulucar to do her S2, but it doesn't really matter to be honest. Um, so Landy, 18k HP. She gets the S1 into the Salvo proc, but it doesn't really matter. As soon as Leth takes a turn, the Landy's dead with no mitigation. Um, so Corinna here chunks my Phyllis. Again, doesn't really matter. My Leth takes a turn and it's pretty much dead Landy and then dead Corinna after this. So the Landy is dead to S2. Again, no mitigation, no injury. My Leth is able to just completely kill all these knights running around like AU Fiend. Corinna is probably, yep, 16, so 17k HP there. She's not able to live a S2 from my left. I think I put the fight on auto here, but yeah, my left is just gonna clean house even if Lulucar gets her S2 and debuffs my left. I don't think it really matters at this point. So she gets the blind debuff, which is annoying because sometimes like she gets the blind debuff and then you miss, which results in not killing the Landy, and then the fight can be bad, which is why I usually don't use Doris S2 or S3 early on. But I don't miss there on the Karina. Even if I miss, it doesn't really matter. The Karina was dead the following cycle. And again, Leth takes a turn. Doesn't matter if she misses, to be honest. The Lucario is not going to live, even if my Leth misses her S2, and Lucario does no damage anyway, so pretty much a clean solo kill from Leth. Yeah, that just does really well into all these meta units running around nowadays in Guild War defenses. So they're dead. That first team, pretty easy. Um, so this one, I S3 the Chooks, I push her back, um, but their Moon Dom I think dispels this. But luckily this allows for my Chooks to go first, and I think this is pretty important in a lot of these like Chooks versus Chooks matchups, to see who gets the injury first. So my Chooks, I think I get the Aiden counterattack, S3 into the Chooks here, which is really big. I was thinking maybe I could one-shot it, but I think this is on proof. Yeah, it's on proof, so you don't one-shot it, but I'm able to chunk it a good amount with my own Chooks and Aiden. Unluckily, she just kind of kills my Aiden the next turn, and I was actually a little bit worried here because I was thinking that my Chooks can clean this up, but I forget that the Solitaria has CC and is able to kind of put me to sleep. So I completely forgot about that, and I thought my Solitaria could CC this thing, but it has a lot of FRES I forget Moondom's run around with. But luckily, I do actually believe I get a stun here, which is really important, because then my Chooks is able to rip her own S3 to kind of severely chunk this Moondom. I think I could have done it to the Crow as well. I was being kind of lazy. I didn't check his turns. But yeah, looking back, if I S3'd the Crow, it probably was a good choice as well. Maybe even better, because that's the only damage left. But my Solitaria goes, I S3, get resisted by Moondom. Um, Luckily, she does her S3 and not her S1 on my Chooks, so my Chooks is probably, yeah, my Chooks just soul burns S1, chunks the Moondom, and the fight's pretty much over at this point. I just S1, S2 with the artifact proc. It's gonna kill the Moondom over here, and fight is won by now. Crowl doesn't do too well into Chooks, um, so I'm able to just kind of S1, S3, S1, S3, and CC with Solitaria as needed. Though I do make his S3 go cycle really fast because of my dual hits. But Chooks gets her S3 back. My Chooks is built pretty offensively, not too tanky. I might have to remake her one day, but she does a lot of damage basically, so I get the kill. Pretty clean, easy fight. 3-0 for our guild. I think I showed the stats of some of my units. Nothing too fancy. Uh, my left is just built really fast and bulky, pretty standard build. Um, so 26k HP, 242s. Yeah, max artifact. That's probably the most important thing. Um, my Billis kind of useless. Never counters when I wanted to. Um, that's my Landy. I have new gear for her. I have to kind of fix her up actually. Arrowell, Aiden. Yeah, just all standard builds. Nothing fancy. Solitaria. Like I love using her in Guild Wars. Doris just dark bait. Moondom, and then my Chooks. So